Danielle Landers. Good evening, guys. I'm Danielle Landers, and I'm going to speak to you today a little about organic and non-organic foods. So let me go ahead and put you into an idea. So you guys get sick, okay? You don't realize what you're getting sick over. You think that it could be the common cold, maybe the flu, and you notice that it's progressively getting worse. So you're like, hey, let's go to the doctor. You find out, oh my gosh, you have E. coli. So what are your first thoughts when you do that? I'm sure it's probably not, oh, maybe it's because in my healthy lifestyle, I didn't switch to organic foods. It's probably the last thing you're going to think about when you get something like this. So when you go to the grocery store, you have all of these choices, or you go to the farmer's market, you have these different choices between organic and non-organic foods. Is there anybody in the audience who actually prefers organic food over non-organic? None? Okay, I know one of our person in our audience is pregnant. Have you thought about, for the baby, whether you're going to give the baby organic or non-organic food?
No.
No? Not a thought that really, processes through your mind. So some of the reasons why you may have not thought about it is because there are a lot of people who don't know the real differences between the organic way and then the conventional way, which is non-organic. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on how organic food is processed so that you know what the difference is. For organic foods, it's all just about the agriculture and just kind of how it's grown. So the word organic refers to the way farmers grow and process agricultural products such as fruits, vegetables, grains, dairies, and meats. Organic farming practices are designed to encourage soil and water conservation and reduce pollen for the atmosphere and everything like that. So here we go. Organic farming and food. Weed prevention. Are there any use? Yes, there is weed prevention. You got tillage. Tillage is where you take the soil and you turn it by agitation. They have cultivation, and cultivation, all that is just the basic intentional growing of the fruits, the vegetables, the dairy, the grains, anything like that. It's the intention of it. Mulching, of course, most of you mulch if you do any kind of gardening. Mulching is more, makes it look good, and it actually helps fertilize it, and it helps growth, is what the mulching does. And that's another method that organic farmers use to keep the weed prevention down. Removal by hand. Some organic farms are not large like normal farms that produce for the country. They're usually smaller in size. So some of the organic farmers actually are able to go out and hand pick from there. Some of your local farmers markets and things like that, they will actually pull the weeds themselves. And then pesticides. I know most of you are going to be in shock, but yes, they do use pesticides. It is synthetic, and they use a formulation that's like citric acid, corn gluten meal, and essential oils. It's not the toxic kind of pesticides that you would think, but they do use a form of pesticide. So that myth is definitely not true. Soil management. The way that they manage their soil is by green manure, and what that is that's like cloves or green grass that are put together, and it's actually tilled underneath of the soil to help fertilize the soil so that it can help grow. And then they do crop rotation, and if you don't know what crop rotation is, it's where you are planting different crops in the same area in sequential seasons, meaning that you're not always going to grow corn in the same exact spot because you want to replenish the nitrogen that's actually in the soil. So you're going to continually crop rotate. And then pest control. They have a problem with pests just like any other farmer does. And the way they do that is biological pest control, where they actually take living organisms such as ladybugs, praying mantis. One of them was actually parasitoid wasps that they use, where they will eat the other pests that are trying to eat their plants, because those pests right there aren't actually considered pests because they're not what's going to eat what they're growing. So they use that method. Physical barriers. You have row covers, where they actually will cover the rows. They will do what they need to do, and they'll cover it again so that it kind of keeps all the animals out. And then again, they use pesticides, more non-synthetic. Now, with organic, you're thinking, what is the profitability of this? They have a high profit because the cost of growing organic food is so low from their low use of pesticides and herbicides, and then they charge so much in the grocery store for what I have no idea. So they are making a huge profit off of these things. Health risks, they have the same health risks as non-organic, except for they don't use pesticides. A lot of people think, oh, the toxins are going to make me sick. They still have the same health risk because bugs are still touching and still eating off of there, and they're not trying to get rid of the pests, and that carries other things too. So there's no higher or lower health risk, and there's no more than what there normally is. And then for the food standards for it, the USDA has actually come up with a seal for organic farmers, and they actually use the same standard as what they would for conventional farming. And they actually have a certification program, and they will put a little circle on it, a seal that will say 100% organic, or it'll just say organic. If it says organic, that means everything that's inside of it is 95% organic or organic materials. The one that says 100% organic, they're completely organic. So you have to watch out for those different seals that come off there. Some of the downsides to the organic foods, it spoils faster. It's smaller sizes. They vary in colors. It'll be the same as the regular, but it'll just come out with different colors because pesticides actually affect the color of the food. And of course the higher food costs, which we've already went over. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a little chart so you guys can better understand some of the seals and what they look like. This right here is the USD organic, and then this is the 100% organic, so these are the seals that they use. This is what a organic farm normally looks like. It kind of looks messy, you know, because they're not grouping it up like they usually do and killing all the weeds as quick. And then this is what the row covers are on how they keep out some of their pests and stuff like that. Okay? So then we're going to move on to what conventional farming is. Of course, everybody drives down the road going through the country, and your conventional farming is the same exact farming as organic. You got your dairies, your meats, your regular fruits and your vegetables. They use the same exact practices or the same foods as what organic foods do. Their weed prevention, though, that they use herbicides, and herbicides are toxic, and they're actually to keep out the pests, like we talked about before. They don't use the ladybugs, they actually just use a herbicide. For soil management, they do a crop rotation, just like organic does, and they just make sure that there are sequential seasons, and they plant different crops during that time. Profitability is low. For some reason, their profitability is low. It costs a lot of money for the pesticides and the herbicides, and they're not really making that much money because they don't charge a lot for the vegetables or the fruits or the dairies. Their health risks, like I mentioned before, they are the same. There is no higher health risk than the other. They're still coming in contact. Yes, they do have toxins, but those toxins haven't proved that the body is actually rejecting them or making you sick from them. So again, it might be a myth that people hear the toxins are going to make you sick. More than likely, not going to happen. The food standards, we all have the food standards set by the USDA, which is the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And there are no downsides to eating. Yes, there is the herbicides and the pesticides, but like I said, other pests that come along that are eating the plants and everything, they're carrying just as many diseases. So are we better to protect ourselves with the toxic herbicides and pesticides, or are we good just eating the fruits and vegetables how they come with the other pests on them? So that's kind of like what the differences are between the two, is the food costs and then the health benefits. There are really no health benefits. They keep saying that organic food is going to make you feel healthier and it's better for you, but in a study that was done by Stanford University showed there is no statistical information showing that organic food is better for you than what conventional farming foods are. So we're going to go ahead and knock that myth right out of there. So the question that the society has posed is it going to be better for me? Like I said in the beginning, it's not. I'm here to tell you that I've been eating conventional farming foods. The thought did arise when I was pregnant, and I thought about maybe changing my son to it, but when I kind of got into more research and I saw that there was no beneficial factor in it for my kid, there was no reason for me to run out, change my entire lifestyle, pay extra money for something that isn't going to benefit us in the end. So with that, I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like, what you're getting your money for. This morning I stopped by the store. These are zucchini squash. This is conventional farming, regular farming. As you can see, nice plump, and it's green. This is organic farming. It's got the little organic seal on it. Same color, looks exactly the same. You notice that it is smaller side by side from each other. Now, this was 55 cents. This was 82 cents. Getting more for your money, and there's no health benefits of this one. Seems kind of silly to me. So in closing, take away that conventional farming is the same as organic farming. There's just no healthy benefits to it. It's just kind of what you perceive or what you want out of it, and that's just what you want to do with it. So if there are no questions, that's all. Yeah.